My name's Bonnie Hancock. I'm a Vaikobi athlete and I recently paddled around Australia. I'm a bit of a late bloomer in terms of ocean ski paddling. Surf life saving has always been my main thing. Grew up in nippers from the age of 5, so true water baby. I picked up a ski at the age of 17, but in terms of ocean ski, I started that at 28, so only 3-4 years ago. And then 2 years in, I decided to paddle around Australia. I just love the sport so much. People have asked what the worst part was. The Great Australian Bight was shocking, terrible, all of the words. The bight is basically the bottom of Australia. There's a really large chunk. I had to make the choice whether to hug the coast or cut across. It was going to be 1,000 kilometres further to hug the coast. I chose to cut straight across. So we were the first ones actually to do it. So there was no blueprint. You've got Arctic blows coming up from Antarctica. It's freezing cold. It took me 15 days to get across, paddling 100k or more a day. I got so seasick across there. It was 5 to 6 metre swells out there, 25 knot winds. There was no relief because you'd get on the boat and it felt like you're on a roller coaster, so I'd continue to vomit on the boat, vomiting off the ski. I lost 8 kilos in 2 weeks. By the time I got to the other side, I could barely walk. I had to go straight to hospital. Every day I just told myself, the only way forward is through this. You've got to just keep going through it. For the rest of the trip, I think both myself and the crew, once we'd gotten through that, we had a feeling like we could do anything. The growth that you see within yourself is incredible. There were plenty of good things along the way, and those moments just make up for all of the horrible stuff. When I started, I wanted to 3 things. I wanted to break a world record. I wanted to share the journey with others, so I got the videographers. And the third thing was that I wanted to do some good. And I looked into a bunch of charities, and Gotcha for Life was one I'd heard about. Gotcha for Life was a huge element for me. They refer to mental health as mental fitness, which is really cool because you should work on it like you work on your physical fitness. And I could really relate to that, and as an athlete, it was throughout that I had this community of people following and messaging me privately and telling me the stories of their struggles and losses, someone close to them, to mental fitness struggles. And that was all I needed to get in and take the first strokes. And they were following and drawing hope from what I was able to overcome. It became about something so much bigger than that. And that's probably the bit I'm most proud of. The shortest day in the end that I would have doing was about 11 hours. And that was paddling all day. You've got a crew looking after you. It's all about you. You know, as athletes, we have to be selfish when we're racing, and you have a team lifting you up. For the first 2 months, I didn't open up to my crew and how I was feeling. I didn't want to burden them or kind of take away from their good time on the boat. But as soon as I did, they were so receptive, and it worked both ways. They started telling me about that as well. And then when you finish, essentially that's not there. So when I got back, it was talking about the trip and sharing some of the really hard times that did also make the time when I got back a lot easier. The Vaikobi gear became very much for me a source of confidence as I put it on each day. It became very much about controlling the things I could control. It did give me that sense that I was doing everything I could on my part. What I couldn't control is knowing exactly how far I was going, what the wind was doing, because the wind does whatever it wants. And if it wants to turn into a headwind, it will. As I put my paddling pants on, my rash shirt, my life jacket, booties, gloves, I felt so confident and I felt ready to take on the water. And having those things around you that make you feel secure and safe, that was really, really important. No matter if I'm down in the Great Australian Bight in freezing temperatures or up the top of the country in the Northern Territory, the Vaikobi gear was able to either keep me warm or cool, and I was able to avoid hypothermia and heat stroke in those different conditions. When I got back from my paddle around Australia, one of the first things I did was message Pat and say I could never have done this trip without Vaikobi. I paddled the whole way around and went through 2 pairs of paddling pants. So I did near 13,000 kilometres and I went through 2 pairs of paddling pants. It was a shock to me. I didn't expect it. I wore the Vaikobi gear the whole way around.